A Tennessee pastor has some new anti-gay swag that he's selling. That's right. According to Raw Story, an anti-gay hardware store in Washburn, Tennessee, has said that 300 people have signed a petition, not only to ban gay customers from his store, but they also want merchandise. Merchandise that says things like "no gays allowed" and "choose God or gays." Now, why is this guy doing it? Well, I've got my own reasons why, but let's listen to him first. He says, quote, "I'm just doing this because people will ask me for it." Oh yes, people have asked me for it. There's just a crowd of people that are like, make some anti-gay swag. That'd be awesome. And this man is, of course, is named Jeff Amyx. Now, he said, as I said, people are doing this, or people are asking me, so that's why I'm doing this. Making these hats and bumper stickers that say "no gays allowed." Now, according to him, he's allegedly sold out of all of them, and is planning to sell t-shirts with the same phrase on them. He's also selling merchandise bearing the phrase "choose God or gays," saying that he makes no profit from the items and only makes enough money to cover production costs. So basically, well, no, I'm just selling these because people want them. There's such a huge demand for anti-gay stuff here. So, I'm going to spend my own money. I'm not going to make any money off of it. No. I'm doing this for everybody else, not to secretly cover up the fact that I love dicks. Okay, I know, speculation, right? I'll get into that. Now, Amyx is a Baptist pastor, and he implemented this ban following the Supreme Court decision to strike down the ban on same-sex marriage. And he did that because he says Christians are the victim of a double standard, preventing them from expressing their beliefs. Really? A double standard? What double standard? Explain to me what double standards exist here. Now, as far as I can tell, as far as I know, never heard of any such incident where a gay person decided to go, you know what, I'm not going to let Christians in my store. I'm not going to let Christians in my store. I'm not going to serve those dirty Christians because they're, whatever. I don't agree with them, whatever. Right? That doesn't happen. There hasn't been a rash of gay people discriminating against Christians. No, it's always been the religious people striking first against gay people. And then, of course, after they do that and get a bunch of backlash, they wonder, why is everybody coming after me? Why is everybody targeting me? All I wanted to do is just ban the dirty homosexuals. It's amazing. They don't get it. They don't understand. And look, going back to this, we're the attacked, oppressed minority thing, 70% of Americans identify as Christians. Every president that we've ever had has most likely been a Christian. Most people in political office are also Christians. Christians are represented everywhere. Everywhere. So please explain to me how Christians just happen to be the weakest and most powerless majority in the history of this country. Please explain to me how that works. How you were somehow the oppressed majority. No. You're not oppressed when someone else gains rights and you lose nothing. I guess you could argue the only thing you've lost is your whipping boy. Your go-to, it's the gays. It's their fault. You've lost that now. That doesn't mean you've lost any rights. It just means that people aren't buying your hatred anymore. People aren't buying your bigotry anymore. That's what that means. Look, you want to talk about persecution? There is actual, real Christian persecution going on. Just check in the Middle East. Look at Syria. Look at the Christians in Syria. They're a very small minority. Egypt's Coptic Christians. They get discriminated against. They get oppressed. Christians all over the Middle East. They actually get oppressed. That doesn't happen here in America. That's not what's happening in America. You want to experience real oppression? Go to one of those countries. Then you'll find out what oppression really feels like. Now, there's another sign that follows up this anti-LGBT bigotry on his store that says, "We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone who would violate our freedom of speech and freedom of religion." Well, first of all, nobody's violating your freedom of speech. You can still say whatever the fuck you want. But you cannot refuse to service someone on the basis of religion. That is against the law. You can't do that. That is not allowed. Now, on that, he says, well, I can do that because God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. I just don't agree with their lifestyle. I don't know why well, he's Tennessee. He's from Tennessee, so I guess the accent fits. I'm sorry for anybody who's not a bigot that has the same accent. He says, I don't want any part of it. I don't want it around me, and I'll never agree with it. Now, isn't that amazing? I've had conversations with people that say essentially the same thing. Oh, I don't want gays around me at all. No. If I see them, I'm going to run the other way. Why? Why would you not want to be in the same room with a gay person? You afraid you're going to catch the gay? Is that what's going to happen? No, it's because he's afraid that he's going to be tempted. That he's going to be tempted by the gay. You see, straight people don't think about gay sex as much as hardly at all. But see, the people who are homophobic, that are anti-gay, well, they're often always saying about, oh, it's so wrong when a man puts his penis in another man's anus. It's so wrong. It's so dirty. God, it sounds so good. Why can't I do it? Oh, Jesus! That's essentially what's going on here. And studies prove that. Studies prove that. The more homophobic you are, the more likely it is that you're a closet homosexual. For example, there's a study that I referenced that recruited 64 heterosexual Caucasian males. Heterosexual, right? Ranging in age between 18 and 31. All participants reported a history of only having been aroused in heterosexual situations. Now, this study is going to determine that that's a lie. I go to this study by saying the participants answered a series of questions regarding anxiety and comfort levels when around gay men, and then were split into two groups based on their scores. All right, what are these two groups? Well, one group is the homophobic group, and the other was the not homophobic group. So homophobes over here, non-homophobes over there. All right. Each participant ended up watching 3 4-minute videos. One was of heterosexual sex, the other of lesbian sex, and the last one is gay sex, gay male sex. During the videos, the men had devices attached to their penises to detect and measure sexual arousal. Now you want to guess what happened next. The homophobic men showed heightened penis arousal during the gay male porn, while the non-homophobic men remained flaccid. Oh, do you know what that means? I think we know. So, the more homophobic guys that were watching this gay male porn, Mr. Johnson was like, that's interesting. I'm going to peek out to take a look. While, of course, in their brains, they're like, oh, gay, it's so dirty. I don't want to be around the gays. I don't want to be around the gays. I don't want them in my store. I don't want to serve them. Because if I'm forced to, then I'm going to want to, like, jump on them or something. That's essentially what it is. The homophobic men in this study not only had some activity in their penis while they were watching this gay porn film, they also reported, no, what are you talking about? I wasn't aroused at all. No, that didn't happen. Obviously, their penises, obviously Mr. Johnson said otherwise. No, I'm not turned on by this. Gay people are icky. I don't like them. I don't want them around. No, it seems like you do want them around. In fact, you might want them in pretty close proximity, from what this says. This guy, over-under on this guy being a closet homosexual, is pretty high.